Hello and welcome to another edition of Iron Port, the program that has been dedicated to bring Ghana's port and maritime industry closer to you. It is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Goyle Company Limited, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link and the Meridian Port Services Limited. It is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, this week's discussion and episode will center on the environment. And as we know, as humans, without the environment, we stand no chance of survival. And likewise, as an industry, we are bound for doom if we do not take sustainable care of the marine environment. With that being said, let us pick a few stories from the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, who marked its ISO and Environment Week to boost the cause for sustainability. Let us take a look at what transpired there, and we'll be back for the main discussion. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has held its ISO and Environment Week celebration to promote occupational health and safety, as well as environmental awareness. The celebration was marked the week that followed World Environment Day, which fell on Sunday, June 5. The week-long celebration, which began on Monday, June 6, and ran through to Friday, June 10, brought together staff, management, and stakeholders in different activities geared towards impressing upon the port community the need to support the authority's efforts for sustainability. The various activities included an official launch, a walkthrough inspection of port facilities and offices, a cleanup exercise, and a tree planting exercise. The chairman of GPHA's Occupational Health, Safety and Environment Committee, who doubles as the general manager in charge of operations, Galvin Amavi, underscored the need for all individuals within the port community to prioritize sustainability as they perform their core functions.
Because everybody needs to play his or her part very well in that. You look at the fumes in the environment, you look at spillages, you look at pollution by way of dust and even by way of noise and other things. So realize that if you don't get everybody on board, particularly interested parties who come into the system, who are part of us, to enable us to fulfill our duties as a port, core duties, bringing in vessels, discharging cargo. If we do not take good care of that area, we would have been failing.
The harbour master at the port of Tema, Captain Francis Kwesi Maika, indicated that systems are in place to keep the port safe in line with the International Ship and Port Facility Code.
The protection of the facility and the various properties belonging to all interested parties. It is not just the staff in here. We have other stakeholders. We have the Steve Dog. We have other state institutions like GMA, BNI, and all of them. We need to ensure that once they are in this enclave, they are well protected. And as such, the response procedure aims to provide guidance to staff in case there's an emergency. How do we go about it?
The general manager in charge of estate and environment at GPHA, James Benjamin Gazy, said the Port Authority has embarked on an initiative to promote responsible consumption and waste management.
So we're trying as much as possible to segregate some of the waste. We started segregating papers at the headquarters level. We escalate this to the port, entire port level. That's why we wanted our stakeholders here to join us, so that when we start this project, you all help us to achieve the result.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is planting 1,000 trees in Tema in support of the National Green Ghana project. The tree planting exercise, which has already commenced, will cover areas within the Port of Tema enclave, as well as a few residential areas within the Tema township. The authority is partnering a non-governmental organization, Coastal Conservancy Organization, for the planting exercise. The tree planting exercise coincides with GPHA's ISO and Environment Week. Speaking at GPHA's symbolic launch of the tree planting campaign, the Director General of the authority, Michael Lugoje, stated GPHA's commitment to the nation's green agenda.
Essentially, we don't need anybody to tell us the importance of the earth. We are human beings existing because the earth exists. So anything we do that extinct the earth means that we will also be extinct. And we do appreciate that the fact that it is raining We are enjoying the winds. We need trees for shade. We need trees to help us ensure that we contain global warming and its negative effects.
The Minister of Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, in a speech read on his behalf by his deputy, Frederick Obeng-Adom, called for continuous nursing of the plants to increase their chances of survival.
Climate change, as we all are aware, has become a very topical issue, being discussed globally with the organization and countries doing all they can to reduce this impact and human existence. This is a popular saying that when the last tree dies, the last man dies. And this is something we must all collaborate to prevent. Let us all get involved and make sure that as we live here, we cultivate the habit of making sure we make Ghana green.
Last year, the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, launched the Green Ghana project as a deliberate effort to encourage afforestation. The minister said, out of 7 million trees planted last year, 6.3 million have survived. He said this year's target is 20 million trees. Away from that, also last week, the world marked the World Oceans Day to create awareness on the impact of human activities on the sea. We took the opportunity at Iron Port to interact with the Environmental Protection Agency as well as the Center for International Maritime Affairs Ghana, a civil society organization, to discuss at length the status of our oceans and how we can safeguard the oceans for a sustainable marine future. Take a listen.
You are a think tank, and I know you have perhaps done a lot of work with respect to our oceans.
Exactly.
What's your observation in terms of our performance?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our viewers once again. What I would say briefly is that we've not done too bad, but there is a lot of room for improvement. As we all know, the ocean covers about 70% of the Earth's surface, and so we depend heavily on it. And that is why sometimes we say that the ocean is the biggest environment of the Earth. And so we have been working a lot on the oceans and the maritime sector. And our observation so far is that a lot is happening which is not helping the ocean. So we are excited as a center to collaborate with EPA and other stakeholders, and of course the United Nations to observe the World Ocean Day, which is a day that is to allow us to educate people and to create the awareness on the importance of the oceans. Without the oceans, there is little we can do as a people in terms of survival. You know, about 40% of people live along the coastal communities in the world. And those fortunate people who are around the ports get a lot of benefits. We have landlocked countries that are not directly in control of our marine space. And they only benefit from the high seas, which is called the common heritage. So those of us who are privileged to be along the coast, we are supposed to take good care of the oceans and make sure that whatever we do, the sea returns it to us, or the ocean returns it to us in form of what we benefit from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what are some of the issues that you mentioned that a lot has happened, or a lot happens as far as the oceans are concerned, and you are working in league with some other organizations?
Yes.
What are some of the things, negative things that you have observed as impacting negatively on our oceans?
The major issue has to do with pollution. And you know, pollution mostly is from land. There is a classical case that we always cite. When you go to Nungwa, there is a gutter there that connects through Regional Maritime University to the sea. You'll be shocked that there are lorry tires, fridges, nose masks, and anything plastics.
Electronic waste, plastic waste.
Everything. And the danger is that these things, when they go into the sea, the fish ingest them. And you know, our food, seafood, is from the sea. And we intend to take those fishes, and it poses a lot of danger to us. We are talking about cancer, we are talking about a lot of diseases, and we don't know where they are coming from. It's from these places. So there is a need for a lot of education to be done in that regard, so that people are aware. A lot of people do these things ignorantly. So we are supposed to educate our people, even farmers. Yeah. You know, they do a lot of things that are, taken into the sea, and it destroys the environment. Yeah, the marine environment.
Right. Yeah. Let me come to Madam Kujawa and find out from you. Do you think there's enough awareness on the dangers and the negative impact of, marine pollution? Yes. In our country?
Yes. There are. We've created a lot of awareness. Awareness is the core mandate of EPA, and so wherever we go, we create awareness about the negative impacts of our activities on the ocean, and even for fishing like this. When the fishermen go fishing now, they don't get the catch they used to get formerly. So they are aware that their actions are negatively impacting on the environment. And like my colleague said, when you go to the ocean environment, especially when it rains, all the garbage goes into the sea, and it is something that everybody sees. It's not news. And we always show it on telly when it rains, and people see that our activities are impacting on the environment, and so we have to change. We even now have a new invasive species, that is the Sargassum, also coming from the Sargasso Sea, also impacting on our marine environment, and this is also one issue we have to look at. Yeah.
Now, he mentioned the fact that 40% of people live around the coast, coastal belts, and they their livelihood depends on the oceans and all that. I just want to find out from you, what must we be doing as a country to ensure that these people don't lose their livelihoods? Because basically, they are dependent on the oceans.
Yes. The main growing concern when it comes to the ocean environment is marine litter. And as my colleague said, marine litter comes from land-based sources. All our waste, we dump it inappropriately, and it all ends up in the ocean environment. So I think that is one key thing we have to tackle. The whole world has to tackle marine litter. Yeah. Because I read from literature that in the 1950s, we were producing about 1.5 million tons of plastics. But as at 2017, we were producing 400 million tons of plastics. And with this, about only 9% is recycled. All the rest goes into our oceans. And when it goes into our oceans too, the fishes, they ingest the plastics, and then they die because the plastic gets into their gas. They cannot breathe, they cannot eat, and at the end of the day, they suffocate and die. So that is one key thing we are supposed to tackle. And this year, UNEA, United Nations Environment Assembly, they came together and they decided to have a legally binding document on plastics, and they have started discussion on that. And I hope that when that one comes into fruition, all countries will now implement the actions in that legally binding agreement that is being negotiated.
Mr. Fiatui, CIMAG, Center for International Maritime Affairs Ghana, have you conducted any research, so to speak, to, as it were, take stock of what is happening in our oceans?
Yes, of course. We've done some research, and we've collaborated with some other international organizations to look into activities affecting the oceans. One very important one that we were very much involved in was one that we did at Anyangwi, Volta, in the Kita Ramsar site. Right. And when we got there, we realized that, the mangroves are very important when it comes to marine ecosystem protection.
Absolutely, yes.
We found out through research that the mangrove over there is not owned by government. The mangroves were planted by the people in the community. Okay. And so they continue cutting the mangroves for firewood and other economic uses. And when we raised the issue, they say, of course, they don't have any other livelihood, and these are mangroves that they have planted. So who will come to tell them that, no, they are protecting the marine environment and also the fishes in the sea. They don't even understand the technicalities.
Yeah.
So we think that it is important government goes in to take over the place, educate the people, even though the people planted those mangroves, take over it and make sure that the use benefits the people and the ocean in general. We've also gone there to conduct some research for the creation of a marine protected area. Unfortunately for us, we've done a lot of work with a funding agency. And what came out was that as a country, we don't even have a legal framework for the creation of the MPA, the Marine Protected Area. And so we hit a snag.
Right.
So when it comes to the protection of the oceans, there is still a lot we have to do. There's a lot we have to do.
In the statement of the president that I read, which he mentioned in Glasgow, 2021, he made mention that we're putting together a document that would mature in 2025. Are you aware of that?
Yeah,
And what's the state of that particular? If you can bring us up to speed.
Yes, I'm aware. The Sustainable Development Unit of the Presidency, Office of the President, Dr. Owusu and his people.
Right.
I was invited, or my team was invited to a program which was hosted online with the International Ocean Institute, and we were supposed to regroup to start work on the Sustainable Ocean Plan. As we speak, I've not heard from them yet, but I believe that things are going on behind the scenes, and that will really materialize. And when that happens, it's going to help all of us greatly, because what we see currently is an amorphous management of the ocean by various agencies. The Ghana Maritime Authority is supposed to be the landlord of the oceans.
Yeah.
We have the Environmental Protection Agency. We have the Fisheries Commission doing something. We have the National Petroleum Authority, the GNPC, and even NCA, because of the fiber optic stuff they also put in the sea.
Yeah.
And all these are not very well coordinated. So when issues arise, you don't know who to go to.
Yeah.
So we think that there is a need for that integrated ocean governance policy that to allow for some level of coordination so that the ocean is well protected.
Integrated ocean governance
policy.
But I just want to find out from Madam Kujau how you are collaborating with other stakeholder agencies to develop action plans and policies, for this industry and to ensure a sustainable, as it were, ocean sector or marine sector in our country.
The EPA is partnering with Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation and other stakeholders like the Fisheries Commission, the district assemblies, and all stakeholders that have something to do with the ocean environment to develop an integrated ocean management policy for Ghana. We've just started. Currently, we have a working group that have put the drafts together, and the drafts will be taken to stakeholders to review, so that they will also provide their inputs, and then we'll revise the draft document before we take it to cabinet. So we are working on a policy for the ocean environment.
Now let us hear a few of your comments on the discussion that has just been had. Here are some comments. Eric Awole Aka from Benin asked, what is the cause of the seaweeds in our sea these days? Hi Eric, our official from the EPA said, research shows that these seaweeds known as Sargassum are not native to our waters, but came from the south of the Atlantic Ocean and may have migrated due to the change in ocean currents. This comes from Ohima in Tema. She says, good evening, Iron Port. Insightful discussion. EPA owes shippers, traders, and their agents lots of education and sensitization. Encountering them during clearance has so far been trade frustration instead of trade facilitation. Good evening, Madam Kujewu and my brother Albert Fiatui. Great work for educating us on the marine sector and the environment, as well as the sustainable maintenance of our environment and the ocean. My name is Nangmen Nurid Gevase from Upper West Jirapa. All right, that is all we have today on this particular subject. We urge all industry players to expedite collaborations so we can all help in the management of our oceans for human life as well as marine life. Iron Port returns after this break.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Welcome back. Now let us turn our attention to the global scene and pick a few stories from the international shipping and maritime industry. Russian forces have reportedly damaged a giant grain terminal complex at the port of Mykolaiv, Ukraine, Europe top diplomat confirmed on Monday, June 6, 2022. The Russian missile strike has destroyed Ukraine's second biggest grain terminal, making it the latest contribution to the global food crisis. According to Ukraine's South Operational Command, the missile attack came from Russian aviation assets operating over the Black Sea. The command claimed that it shot down 2 cruise missiles, but others struck port facilities and grain storage silos. The Nicoterra port complex at Mykolaiv is a private terminal about 30 nautical miles inland from the Black Sea on the Bug estuary. The port's silos have capacity for up to 500,000 tons of grain at a time, and it is equipped with 3 bulk loading machines to move up to 1,500 tons of grain per hour. In years past, it has handled up to 6 million tons of grain, soybeans, and oil seeds annually. Norwegian digital solutions provider Kongsberg Digital and Swiss MSC, the world's largest container shipping company, have signed a contract for digitalizing MSC's entire fleet, consisting of approximately 500 vessels with Vessel Insight. As reported by World Maritime News, the 5-year agreement includes delivery of Kongsberg Digital's data infrastructure service, Vessel Insight, and Kongsberg Digital's vessel performance application on the entire MSC's owned fleet, consisting of approximately 500 vessels plus options. By using Kongsberg Digital's vessel-to-cloud data infrastructure Vessel Insight, MSC will be able to achieve more transparency and improved utilization of data. French shipping and logistics major CMA CGM has placed its first order for methanol-powered vessels in an effort to expand its energy mix and become carbon neutral by 2050. The company revealed it decided to order a total of 6 15,000 TEU dual-fuel methanol-powered container ships from an unnamed shipbuilder. The new builds are planned to join the CMA CGM fleet by the end of 2025. In addition to the 6 methanol-fueled ships, CMA CGM also ordered 10 dual-fuel liquefied natural gas-powered vessels, bringing its order book to 69 ships. The French company has been so far primarily focused on ordering LNG-fueled vessels to reduce atmospheric pollutant emissions. However, it is now diversifying its energy sources by joining its counterpart Maersk in ordering a methanol-powered fleet. Coming up is the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema and Takoradi, and also at the anchorages of both ports. Also, we have the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo. All right, this is where we draw the curtains on today's edition of Eye on Port. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, you can channel all your complaints, recommendations through this channel, Eye on Port. Remember to also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Eye on Port. Thank you for watching.